Is back into it in Chester. Here's El Senior. Yes! Yes! The center back, Jacob Glesnes, is going for it. Oh my God! What a goal! And that will do it! One of the best comebacks in recent years. 3 unanswered by the Union. And they go into the Gold Cup break, winning it 3-2.
Hello and welcome to the Free Kick Podcast. My name is Todd. And vamos! Let's go! The Philadelphia Union 1-0 victory over Atlanta United. And I think this is a first for me to come directly from the stadium and record with hardly any preparation whatsoever. So I jotted down a couple thoughts that I wanted to bring up in a Microsoft Word document. And so I'm just going to go off of, what I saw. We are, about 2 hours since the Philadelphia Union played Atlanta United. I told you guys last episode I'm going to give you guys a review episode, and then you want to hear from me on the podcast for about a week as I am heading out to go on vacation. So by the time you guys listen to this episode on Sunday morning, more than likely I will be on the plane heading to vacation. So yeah, it does feel weird not to really prepare this episode like I normally would with notes, stats, whatnot. It feels weird not having any audio to play from Jim Curtin's press conference. So I'm just going to go into it, talk about that game, and just what a game it was by the Philadelphia Union. But before I talk about that Philadelphia Union game, there is one news thing I want to bring up to you guys. You guys probably saw this during the week in regards to CONCACAF's new formats with new competitions going forward. So let's just get straight into the news. Yeah, so you guys probably saw that CONCACAF announced that they are going to be changing the Champions League format starting in 2023. And then Liga MX and MLS, they announced new changes to the Leagues Cup in 2023. And I've read a couple articles. I didn't do too much research on this, so I won't give my thoughts on it. I'm just going to play a clip from CONCACAF announcing the new Champions League format, like I said, starting in 2023. But the new Leagues Cup that's coming in 2023 between Liga MX and MLS, it is as followed, with both leagues will pause domestic campaigns for a whole month for the summertime. It's going to be a World Cup style tournament, 3 CCL spots at stake. All clubs from MLS and Liga MX will participate in a World Cup style tournament. And like I said, Liga MX, MLS, this is what they're doing for the Leagues Cup. And then CONCACAF comes out and says, yeah, you know what, we're going to launch a new Champions League format starting in 2023. And so this is the announcement that CONCACAF came up with.
CONCACAF has launched a new structure for its men's club competitions ecosystem that includes an expanded 27-club CONCACAF Champions League. The new competition structure, which begins in 2023, incorporates regional cup tournaments prior to the Confederation's flagship club competition. The 3 regional cups will be played in the fall of each year and will qualify clubs into the CONCACAF Champions League, which will be played in the spring. For Canada, Mexico, and the United States, clubs will continue to qualify for the CONCACAF Champions League via their domestic leagues and member association cups. Additionally, an expanded Leagues Cup, including all Liga MX and MLS clubs, will become part of the Confederation's new club ecosystem. At the conclusion of the Leagues Cup, the champion, runner-up, and third-place finisher will guarantee their place in the CONCACAF Champions League. Following the 3 regional cup competitions, a 27-club CONCACAF Champions League will be played in the spring to crown a regional club champion. The new CONCACAF Champions League format includes a first round, which will be played prior to the round of 16. Of the 27 clubs which will participate in the CONCACAF Champions League, 22 will begin play in round 1, while 5 will receive a bye directly to the round of 16. The 22 clubs which will compete in round 1 are 5 Liga MX clubs, 4 MLS clubs, and 2 Canadian Premier League clubs determined via domestic league play. The winners of the U.S. Open Cup and Canadian Championship, the second and third place finishers of the Leagues Cup, the second place finisher, 2 losing semifinalists, and 2 play-in winners of the CONCACAF Central American Cup, and the second and third place finishers of the CONCACAF Caribbean Cup. The 5 clubs that will receive a bye directly to the round of 16 are the league champions of Liga MX and MLS, the League's Cup champion, the CONCACAF Central American Cup champion, and the CONCACAF Caribbean Cup champion. The CONCACAF Champions League Round 1, Round of 16, quarterfinals, and semifinals will all include home and away play. The competition will conclude with a single-leg final, played on a weekend date to crown a regional club champion. Together, this new structure of CONCACAF club competitions will deliver more official international club football in the region and elevate our clubs and leagues on the global stage. It will deliver more exciting matchups that fans will want to see and a more competitive pathway to the FIFA Club World Cup. CONCACAF, love for our game.
Gotta love that, love for our game, the slogan from CONCACAF there. So like I said, I've read a couple articles, not going to get into it too much in this episode, just because I want to talk about that Philadelphia Union game. I don't want to speak on a topic that I don't know too much about. Yeah, there's been a lot of reports about the new format that CONCACAF came out with, a lot said about Leagues Cup, but yeah, I didn't read too much in it, enough to where I feel confident in giving an opinion. The only thing I will say, though, is RIP the U.S. Open Cup. But going on to the Philadelphia Union versus Atlanta United, 1-0. Those, in my opinion, are the best results in soccer. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, yeah, this is why soccer is boring, because of this, because of that. I don't think it's an issue at all. I love seeing teams work so hard defensively. Look, sometimes that's all you need, right? I mean, it proves 1-0. All we needed was 1 goal to go in the back of the net. But before this game even started, it was awesome, absolutely awesome to see Mike Thomas again in person. You guys have heard him on this podcast, friend of the pod, chatting it up a while. Mike, I'm sorry I know you're listening. I'm sorry I didn't get your friend's name. Sure, you hit me up like, oh yeah, this is his name. I should have introduced myself, but yeah, that guy is hysterical. I love his takes on the NHL. Man, the anti-Penguins talk is real in Philadelphia, right? But like, if you want to talk hockey with me, I'll just sit there and listen. Hockey is right down there, all the way at the bottom, right? But I know some people love the Flyers, right? But it was awesome talking to you and your friend Mike, just talking different sports. Like, look, we didn't even talk about soccer the whole time. We talked about football, talked about baseball. That's what I love, just interacting with people at the stadium, people that listen to the podcast, people that are Philadelphia Union fans, people that just go to the stadium to get drunk, drink beer. I love talking to people and finding a common interest in sports. So it was a really awesome moment, Mike, and I appreciate you coming over before the game started and you and your friend talking to me. Always great chatting with you, hearing your thoughts on the Philadelphia Union, and learning some information about some accounts you run on Instagram and Twitter that I had no idea what accounts that were yours. I don't know. Are you Union Hawk? I don't know. That's for the listeners to try to figure out. Is Mike Thomas Union Hawk? But the Philadelphia Union, Atlanta United. Look, Philadelphia Union, like early on in this game, they tried to play Sergio Santos in behind the back line against Atlanta. Atlanta did a pretty good job, I thought, handling Sergio Santos, trying to get in behind them. Their center backs playing 3 in the back, so you're going to have your center backs be in a lot of one-on-one situations against attackers. And I thought Atlanta United did really well to play Sergio Santos one-on-one. Didn't allow him to get in behind. A couple times that he did get in behind the back line for Atlanta United, they raised the flag for offsides. But look, 5 minutes into the game, Kasper Schmeichel plays a great ball to Sergio Santos. Brad Guzan comes up with a huge save. last episode or the episode before that, I can't remember what it was, talking about how Sergio Santos if we can just work on his passing and he can get more clinical, man, this guy will be a deadly striker for the Philadelphia Union. I was really, really impressed with his passing. Look, he had that great reverse pass to Jack Elliott that put Jack Elliott 1-on-1 versus Brad Guzan. Brad Guzan makes another great save. He had 8 saves, I believe, in this game. Just an unbelievable performance by Brad Guzan. And yeah, he's the reason why the Union didn't have 3-4 goals in this game, because the Philadelphia Union, I don't know who said this on Twitter, but I saw it. They're like, yeah, the Philadelphia Union have Brad Guzan looking like Manuel Neuer out here. And yeah, Guzan came up with a ton of huge saves for Atlanta United. And all I could hear in my ears for Brad Guzan making those saves is, if you haven't been down to Atlanta, anytime that Brad Guzan makes a save, the fans go, Goose! And so every time he was making those saves, I'm like, I'm waiting for it. But yeah, didn't hear at all. And there were a lot of Atlanta United fans at the game, which was good to see. You know, I don't know how you guys feel about away fans coming to Subaru Park, but I think that's good for the sport, where you have fans traveling. Like, you're spending your hard-earned money to go watch this team hundreds of miles away from Atlanta. You have fans just, no matter where the teams go, they go out and support. A lot of you guys listening to the podcast flew down to Mexico City to see the Philadelphia Union take on Club America in the Champions League. Like, it's hardcore dedication, and I do appreciate fans coming out to those games, trying to make those games a better atmosphere. They're going to the games to support their team, and so I think that means a lot to the players. I think that means a lot to me, just watching, okay, look, you love your club this much that you don't care where they're playing. You're going to go there. You're going to support them. And so I do like seeing that. And yeah, I know a lot of people on social media are making fun of Atlanta United fans on social media. I said it back in June when I recorded my episode, my experience coming back from Atlanta United. I didn't run into a single issue down in Atlanta at that game. And like all of the Atlanta fans you see crying on social media, complaining on social media, I really do believe that those guys are the minority fan base. A lot of the guys, I feel like, have smart takes, good thought out takes. People down in Atlanta, when I talk to them, they say, congratulations, you guys have a great team. Thanks for coming down. They were really, really respectful. I didn't get the sense that the people that I talked to were crybabies, crying about anything. So even after this game, I talked to a Atlanta United fan heading out into the parking lot. I was like, yeah, man, thanks for coming to this game. And I think, like, when I tapped him on the shoulder, I don't think he knew what to expect. I think that he was expecting me to talk crap, but I was like, nah, man, I appreciate you for coming out here. And he kind of laughed it off. I was like, no, I'm dead serious. Like, thanks for coming out to this game, supporting your team, supporting this league. And he was like, yeah, man, thanks so much. And I was like, you guys have a great team. I thought Atlanta United, without Joseph Martinez, not playing a natural striker, I thought they played well. They played well with Brad Guzan. I think Atlanta United will slip into the playoffs, but it's tight in the East, right? It is so tight. But just under Gonzalo Pineda, Atlanta United have looked good. They have 4 wins, 2 losses. And they've, prior to this game, 7 wins in 8 matches with only 1 loss in those 8 games. Yeah, Atlanta United look really, really well. And so they rested Joseph Martinez to play him against Inter Miami, but maybe they rest him against Inter Miami, where, look, it's Inter Miami. I don't think Atlanta United need Joseph Martinez to beat Inter Miami. So maybe they give him an extended time off because of his knee problems that he's dealing with, or just some soreness in his knee. So I was a little bit surprised not to see him in the starting 11, let alone on the bench. So definitely caught me by surprise, but maybe they really feel like it can be a problem if they play Joseph Martinez way too much. So that surprised me, but it was nice seeing Atlanta United fans come out and support the team, and there's enough of a ramble from me on that. But going back to the point that I said, Sergio Santos played a great reverse pass to Jack Elliott that put him 1-1 versus Brad Guzan. How about that free kick by Jack Elliott? I did not expect the Union to let Jack Elliott line up for a free kick. And when I saw Jack Elliott line up to take the free kick, I was like, he's not crossing this ball, and he is 100% shooting. And man, the curve on that shot, it didn't have much pace on it. Brad Guzan saved it easily, but that was awesome to see Jack Elliott take a free kick, to put it on target, to have curve on it. Like that's something, in my opinion, where I feel like the Union probably worked on that in training. And to see Jack Elliott get a free kick from 25 yards out, maybe 26, 27 yards out, and put it on target to go for an upper 90 shot, yeah, that was awesome to see. And to see Jack Elliott go 1-on-1 versus Guzan, who made an excellent save on him. We joke about it all the time, right? Where Jack Elliott's our best striker on this team, but I feel like not every game, not even every other game, but Jack Elliott, like, definitely multiple times throughout the last couple seasons, we've seen him be a pretty good striker. He gets himself in really good attacking positions, and he's able to find the back of the net. So I thought for sure Jack Elliott was going to score in this game, either on that one-on-one situation with some nice dribbling skills by the big man, or by the free kick. I was like, Jack Elliott's going to get a goal here. But just unbelievable offensively what Jack Elliott does for this team. And it's always like, when we need a goal, just send Jack Elliott forward. The ball always finds his feet, and he always has a chance for the Union. So yeah, that was an awesome moment in this game. The goal that the Union did get with Jose Martinez, where he dribbled by two players, sets the ball up for Casper to slot it past Brad Guzan. Man, that was unbelievable skill from Jose Martinez, where I think that's where Jose Martinez is better offensively than Leon Flock, where Jose Martinez seems like he's a better dribbler of the ball compared to what Leon Flock is. Yeah, Leon Flock gets himself into good positions with his runs, but I don't think he has the dribbling ability that Jose Martinez has. And just to get himself out of that tight space, to still work on the goal line, to cross that ball into a dangerous area for Casper to slot home. The Union were trying that play a lot of times in the game. They weren't sending in a ton of crosses like they normally do. I think they had, I looked this up briefly, I think they had 19 crosses in this game, maybe a little bit less, but just watching throughout this game, the Union would get the ball out wide, dribble it, and then play a driven pass on the ground, as opposed to crossing the ball on the ground. And maybe that was a part of the game plan, how they thought they could beat Atlanta United, but maybe this is what Jim wants the team doing going forward. And they had opportunities. Atlanta United did a good job to clear the ball out a couple times when the Union tried to do those type of passes, those driven passes, as opposed to crosses. But Jose Martinez, man, just what a player. And if you guys remember, he played right midfield for Venezuela in the Copa America, and he played well the couple games that he played at right midfield for Venezuela. So if Venezuela is playing him at right midfield, you know that, okay, look, this guy has good dribbling ability. He doesn't have to sit deep. We know what he can do for the Philadelphia Union, for Venezuela, if he sits deep. But he can also offer something offensively. And maybe you can try Jose Martinez at the 8 compared to Leon Flock playing at the 8. Put Leon Flock at the 6 maybe for a game or two. See what Jose Martinez can do at the 8. Because that play to set up Casper was unbelievable. And we saw Jose take a couple shots in this game, and yeah, none of them came off, but at least he's taking those shots. At least he feels comfortable. He feels confident that, yeah, I can have a shot here and it might go in, that I want to do something for the team offensively. We know what I can do defensively, but I want to show people, yeah, I have offensive abilities as well. And yeah, Jose Martinez played excellent, excellent, excellent against Atlanta United. I mean, the engine on the dude just unbelievable. Is there anybody else on this team who has a bigger engine than Jose Martinez? Ale Bedoya seems to run 7 miles every single game. Jamir Montero does so much work defensively. Leon Flock does an excellent job defensively. So yeah, you can make a case for all three of those guys, but Jose Martinez definitely has one of the best engines on this team. And like, it's unbelievable just watching that play, picturing that play in my mind, just how he was able to get by two Atlanta United defenders, keep the ball in play, and find Kasper Schmeichel with such an accurate pass. What a guy Jose Martinez is. And Jonathan Tannenwald, if you guys haven't seen the interview he did with Jose Martinez, I guess sometime this week, Jose talked about how he wants to stay in Philadelphia forever, how he loves the city, how he loves the team, how he loves the fans. He loves everything about Philadelphia. And he said if he had it his way, he would retire here. Now, I feel like that's the typical PR answer from players that you get in interviews all the time. They always say all these great things about the club and then they move on. But I do kind of get the sense that Jose does mean that. Here's a guy who wasn't getting a sniff of soccer playing in Venezuela for the national, playing in the league in Venezuela. He wasn't getting a sniff at all for the national team. He comes in to MLS with the Philadelphia Union. And we were all blown away with what kind of player he was for us. And we're like, okay, yeah, it's no wonder that he beat out Orvats for the spot. He beat out Cole Turner for the number 6 spot. This guy is unbelievable. And he plays so well for us that Venezuela's like, yeah, we need to start calling this guy out for Venezuela. And now he's one of the first names listed on the starting 11 for Venezuela every time he gets called up for the national team. So I feel like he's probably so thankful that he's hit a new level playing in MLS, playing for the Philadelphia Union. Now he's getting called up all the time for the national team. So I think he's probably very, very grateful for the Philadelphia Union for taking a chance on him, to give him this opportunity to show what he can do. And so because of that, I do feel like there is some truth to that he feels like if he had it his way, he would retire here for the Philadelphia Union because they've given so much to him the last couple seasons. And nobody could have expected Jose Martinez would be the type of player that he is for us right now. Like I said, 8 saves for Brad Guzan. Unbelievable that Guzan looked like Manuel Neuer. Kasper Schmeichel, I was just talking about that play with Martinez playing the ball into him. This stat surprised me. I did not realize that Kasper has 5 goals in 5 games for Atlanta United in all competitions. 3 goals in 3 games this year alone. He scored 2 goals down in Atlanta in CCL play. Then, actually, I lied. 4 goals in 3 games this season against Atlanta United. 2 goals down in Atlanta in CCL play. Scored the goal in Subaru Park when we were in CCL play that ended 1-1. And then he just scored against Atlanta United again. Just, wow. What a player Kasper is against Atlanta United. I didn't realize that he had that many goals against Atlanta United, but I guess if I would have done better research for the preview episode, I guess maybe I should have said, yeah, Kasper is going to score this game. That's back-to-back games now that Kasper has scored a goal. 3 goals in his last 2 games, 2 against Orlando, 1 against Atlanta United. Is he starting to heat up? He might be, because he got into really good positions against Atlanta United, had a couple chances. The ball got blocked a couple times. He linked up so well with his teammates. And it's amazing what 2 goals will do for a player. And if this is the run that Kasper is going to go on, I said, 6-7 goals. If Kasper can get us that in the last 10 games, we'll be happy with it. But 3 goals in the last 2 games, that's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. So hopefully Kasper can bring that up again against the New York Red Bulls on Wednesday night. I believe that game is. But we will take it, right? I believe 32 goals that is now for Casper all time for the Philadelphia Union. He's slowly but surely climbing up that list to catch Sebastian Letou. How much closer will he get by the end of the season? We shall see. Hopefully he continues to score because when Casper's hot, he's hot. But it's all of our strikers, right? Once they're hot, they're hot. So it's kind of hard living with strikers like that, where you want them to be a DP striker scoring every single game. But we know that's not the Union way. It doesn't matter what striker it is for the Union, what striker it was for the Union. It's always been the way. It's in our DNA where they get hot and cold. What else? Daniel Gonzaga. Some people I'm sure probably get tired of me defending this guy. So some people probably get tired of me for quote unquote making excuses. But Jim Curtin, and I wish I had the clip to play this. I wish I could hear this clip. I haven't even got an email yet from the Philadelphia Union for the clip, the post-game press conference from Jim Curtin. But he talked about Daniel Gazdag. And he said, I think he holds himself to a high standard in a lot of ways. There's still an acclimation period. He has about 50 games in his legs right now on the calendar year, which isn't easy. He's still a very high-quality player that we have a ton of faith in and believe in. And look, that's what I've been saying. Anytime that people will say, Daniel Gazag's a flop, Daniel Gazag this, Daniel Gazag that. The dude's played 50 games, and he's going to play a lot more this season. That is a ton of games, a ton of minutes on your knees where he had no break. The only break that Daniel Gazdag got in the calendar period is when he left the Euros with Hungary and he came back to the Philadelphia Union. That's the only rest that Daniel Gazdag got. So I don't know how people can judge Daniel Gazdag, say, he's a flop, he's this, he's that, when I'll say it time and time again. How many times have you seen players come in to MLS halfway through the season and lit the world on fire? Really can't think of any single player. And I know a lot of people are comparing Daniel Gazdag to players in the past coming in and how people gave up on players in the past and said, this guy's a flop. But then after a full season, they're like, this player is great for the Philadelphia Union. This is an unbelievable player. So it does take some time getting used to your teammates, getting used to a league, getting used to a new formation. So whatever Daniel Gazdag can do to us is a plus, in my opinion. And you saw it. He was great on that 1-2 with Jumir Montero in the first half. I believe the 42nd minute it was. That is when Daniel Gazdag is at his very best, when he runs into the box and the teammate plays the ball straight to his feet. He'll dribble into a good angle for him to take a shot at, and Brad Guzan comes up with a big save there. And that is when Daniel Gazdag is at his very best. The couple games that I've watched of Daniel Gazdag playing with Hungary, he played at the number 8. And every time that he got a chance, he was late running into the box. His teammates held the ball up, waited to him to run into the box. Nobody picked him up. And he had a shot on goal. And that's exactly what happened against Atlanta United. And eventually he's going to score those chances. Maybe he's not giving 100% just because of all the games that he has in his knees. And remember, that's the whole reason why he didn't play with Hungary at the Euros, because he had soreness in his knee. They said that he's fatigued. He's played a lot of games, so we don't want to risk injury because he just joined the Philadelphia Union. We don't want this guy getting hurt, and we don't want him getting hurt for us here at the Euros. So we believe in his ability, but what's the point of having a player potentially get hurt, and now we can't use him? So Hungary did the right thing when they sent Daniel Gazdag back to the Philadelphia Union and got a tiny bit of a break. And so whatever we get out of Gazdag, I'll take it. And look, that chance that I just mentioned, the 1-2 with Jumir Montero, besides that chance, he had a couple really good touches and passes into his teammates. He had a really good key pass. I can't remember if it was before or right after him and Jameer had that play, but he played a wonderful ball into Kasper Schmeichel, and Brad Guzan comes up with another huge save for Orlando United. Daniel Gazdag could have had a goal and assist in this game. Just don't give up on Gazdag. Don't be hard on the guy. Just be realistic. Realize this dude's going to play over 50 games this season. It's a lot of games to be played in one calendar season, where he has never done that ever in his career. This is his first time ever. Came into a new league, learning a new system, new teammates, how they want to play. And out of every single player on the Philadelphia Union's team, it seems like every single game, Jamiro Montero and Daniel Gazdag try to link up. It seems like they have the best chemistry between each other, even though they haven't played a ton of games together. I believe that was only their 9th or 10th game played between one another. I know Daniel Gazdag and Sergio Santos, they have moments too with 1-2s. Daniel Gazdag tries to play the ball into Sergio Santos, but sometimes it's a little bit overhit, sometimes it's a little bit underhit. So it's just about working out that chemistry between your teammates. So if Daniel Gazdag is playing the way that he's playing now, next season, then go ahead. Judge him however you want. But this season, you can't do it. You cannot do it, in my opinion. But the last thing I want to bring up is the energy in the stadium was fantastic. For a 3:50 kickoff game, wasn't sure a ton of people would come out, but man, that place was rocking. The energy in the River End was outstanding. Loved that we tried yet again. People complain, we don't do chants. We don't have new chants. This, that, blah, blah, blah. This is back-to-back games that we tried a brand new chant. And I thought it worked pretty well. So I applaud you, Mr. Adam Booth, for introducing yet again another new chant to the River End. People can't say that you're not trying. People can't say that Jarrett's not trying. People can't say that other people involved with Sons of Ben aren't trying. Guys are definitely trying, so I applaud you guys for trying a brand new chant. And the last thing I want to say about just the atmosphere in the River End, I think this guy might need to get MVP of the match. I know looking at some people's faces, they were getting annoyed the more and more that this one won. But if you guys go back and watch the video, maybe you guys notice this in the River End, where this dude had a unicorn and My Little Pony. I don't know what it was, a unicorn tied to a pole, and he's swinging this thing back and forth. This dude is definitely drunk out of his mind. He's poking people with the unicorn. He's putting the unicorn on people's head. He's swinging the unicorn back and forth. It flies a couple times off of the pole. Like, it was a great moment. And, like, seeing that unicorn reminded me of the 2019 playoff game when somebody bought a pink cow into the stadium. They put it on a pole, and they're just flying this pink pig in the River End. I was like, oh man, it's not a pig, it's a unicorn. Like, this is awesome. So I don't know, maybe this My Little Pony unicorn thing, maybe that was the good luck. And if it is, this guy needs to bring this thing to every single game. He needs to sit in the exact same spot, the exact same location, because that was an awesome moment, seeing this dude drunk out of his mind just waving this unicorn. So made for a fantastic atmosphere in the River End. But before I go, I just want to review my keys to the game. So last episode I said, number one, the Union, they have to attack through the middle. That is a pass. And the Union tried a lot of times to attack through the middle. And if it wasn't for Brad Guzan making saves, if it wasn't for the Atlanta defenders having a couple blocks, the Union would have had multiple goals in this game. And a lot of those chances came from attacking down the middle, cutting the ball back to players in the middle inside the 18-yard box. So I applaud the Philadelphia Union for actually attacking through the middle. Point number two I said was make the most of your corners. That's neither a ferrule or a pass. The Union had 4 corner kicks all game. Not much you can do with 4 corner kicks. So neither a pass or a ferrule for me there. But number 3, this was maybe this should have been the number 1 key to a victory. And this is exactly what won the Philadelphia Union the game. I said control the last 15 minutes. Atlanta United have given up 10 goals in the last 15 minutes, while they've also scored 8 goals, the Union have scored 36 goals prior to this game, with 9 of them coming in the last 15 minutes. So no, the Philadelphia Union didn't score a goal in the last 15 minutes, but they also did not allow Atlanta United to score a goal within the last 15 minutes. Because if you look at just some basic numbers, the last 15 minutes, there were 2 shots for the Philadelphia Union in the last 15 minutes compared to 0 for Atlanta United. The Union had 6 tackles compared to Atlanta United's 2. The Union had 3 interceptions compared to Atlanta United's 2. And Atlanta United were dispossessed 3 times in the last 15 minutes. The last 15 minutes of the game, the Philadelphia Union did not give Atlanta United any chance. I mean, 0 shots. We're not talking shots off target. We're talking 0 shots in the last 15 minutes. What a dominant performance for the Philadelphia Union. Did not allow them to get a shot towards Andre Blake at all, for the Philadelphia Union to go ahead and kill time. I know people on social media were like, oh, wah, the Philadelphia Union are the biggest time wasters. Wah, wah. Show me a team in any league around the world that doesn't do that when they're up, especially in stoppage time. Show me any team that doesn't do that. Come on. Your team's not good enough. They haven't beat the Philadelphia Union at all this season. 2 wins, 2 draws. You guys had a 2-0 lead down in Atlanta in June, and you guys threw it away within the last 6-7 minutes of the game. You guys can't beat the Philadelphia Union. You guys don't know how to beat the Philadelphia Union in 2021. And I know some fans on Twitter were like, oh, we'll see you guys in the playoffs. I hope we do see you guys in the playoffs, because whether or not you have Joseph Martinez, I don't think the Philadelphia Union are afraid of Atlanta United anymore. So with that victory over Atlanta United, that moves the Philadelphia Union into 4th place. And the last thing that I will bring up is I asked for listener questions on Twitter. Got one from George. And by the way, George, I'm trying to think. I don't think I've had you on the podcast, but I would absolutely love to have you on the podcast sometime in the future. If you've not been on the podcast, which I'm pretty sure you have not ever been on the podcast, definitely love to get you onto the podcast. I know you and I have interacted multiple times on social media. Always good conversations between you and I. So if you're ever interested in coming into the podcast, yeah, come on to the podcast and we'll talk Philadelphia Union, because I would definitely love to hear your backstory, how you got into the Philadelphia Union. And that goes for just anybody else that's listening to the podcast. If I haven't had you on the podcast, sometime in the future, I would love to get you guys on the podcast, hear your backstory, how you got into the team, and just talk Philadelphia Union with you guys. But Georgia's question was, with the performance today, does Bedoya potentially lose his starting spot? I thought Mir looked really good on the right side of the diamond. And you're absolutely right, George. Jamir Monteiro was fantastic on the right side of the diamond, where just pulling up some random stats here. They were up and now they disappeared. Pulling up random stats here, looking at how Jamir Monteiro played on the right side of the diamond. If you look at his heat map, it was super hot on the right side of the diamond. He had 82 touches. 82 touches. Not playing as the number 10, playing at the right midfield. The right center mid spot, where he was active in the attacking third, and then he was really, really active around half field. The dude played unbelievable on the right side of the diamond. 87 completed passes, 3 key passes, 2 tackles, 1 interception. That's what people have been calling for a while. They want to see Jamir Monteiro, Daniel Gazdag out there at the same time. Keep Leon Flock out there, because you could make an argument that the starting 11 that we saw against Atlanta United was the very best starting 11 that the Philadelphia Union can put out there. And they played really well. If it wasn't for Brad Guzan, the Philadelphia Union would have had multiple goals, and maybe more people would be talking about this on Twitter. Maybe they are. Maybe because literally, like I said, as soon as I got home, typed up a couple points that I wanted to bring up so I didn't forget them, and started to record. So maybe people are talking about this on social media, but Does he lose his spot? I don't think so because he's the captain. You know, Jim Curtin talks about it all the time how, he's our leader. We need him on the field all the time. This is why he doesn't sub him out. Ali Bedoya wants to play 90 minutes every single game. So I don't think he loses his spot. But if anything, I think that this shows Jim Curtin that the starting 11 he had out on the field, they can do a job. They can do a job against one of the highest spending teams in MLS, one of the most talented teams in MLS. And I know we beat Atlanta United. I know Atlanta United had a terrible first half of the MLS season. But I do think that Atlanta United, on paper, have one of the most talented teams in all of MLS. And so, will Ali lose his starting spot? No. Should he? I think there's definitely ways to monitor his minutes to keep him as fresh as possible. And you saw that with the starting 11 today. Will Jim do it? I don't think so, but I think it should give him something to think about. And I'm sure it's probably not a easy conversation to have with Ali Bedoya where it's like, okay, look, you're getting up there in age. I know you're running 7+ miles every single game, but we want to keep you as fresh as possible for as long as possible. So maybe, this is a very, very strong maybe, Ali Bedoya starts to ease out of the starting 11, but I don't think it happens. But man, that starting 11 out on the field for the Philadelphia Union, in my opinion, that's the best 11 that we have available for us right now. Ali offers a lot for this team, but look, when Ali's gassed, you can see when he's gassed. So just, wow. Look, I had no complaints about that starting 11. Just thinking about that starting 11, looking at how well that team played, unbelievable performance. And I thought it was awesome, too, where you guys know how they announce the players and everything before the game starts. Andre Blake got an absolutely huge standing ovation when they announced him as the captain. And maybe this is what it is in the future when Ali eventually retires. Maybe Andre Blake's going to be the captain going forward. And just really, really happy with the way that the Philadelphia Union played. But like I said, you guys won't hear from me for a week. Ricky Zelfro plans on doing a New York Red Bulls preview for you guys. So look for that episode. I don't know, sometime around Monday, maybe Tuesday. I'll be interested in hearing what Ricky has to say about that New York Red Bull game. I'm sure he'll probably talk about Anthony Fontana coming on the field for 6-7 minutes against Atlanta United. He'll probably talk about Anthony Fontana should have came on sooner, but it should be a good episode with Ricky talking about what he expects the Philadelphia Union to do against New York Red Bulls. And I'm going to try to write 2 articles, try my very best to write 2 articles on the website, thefreekickpodcast.com. If you guys aren't following the Twitter page, the Instagram, or Facebook, follow at Free Kick Pod. Wherever you get your podcasts, The Free Kick. But man, what an unbelievable game against Atlanta United. Let's hope that the Philadelphia Union can bring this same energy, the same form against the New York Red Bulls. And before I go, let me just go ahead and look at the score updates. Columbus Crew beat Montreal 2-1. DC United won 4-2 against Cincinnati. DC United were up in that game, I believe, at one point 4-0. New York Red Bulls beat New York City. Wow. After New York City and them drew during the week, 1-1, New York Red Bulls got a late penalty. I believe New England, did New England win? New England 2-1 over Orlando City. So, yeah, I think that helps the Philadelphia Union out. Hopefully, today when you guys are listening to this podcast on Sunday, hopefully Chicago gets a victory over Nashville. Again, Nashville's on the road. Only have 2 victories on the road. So, yeah, let's hope that some more results go the Philadelphia Union's way. It is a huge result that New York Red Bulls gave us by beating New York City. But until then, my name is Todd, and this is the Free Kick Podcast.